Terry Morin trying to guide her team to a second straight Elite Eight. They got to get by Princeton. And this place is frenzied for a second round battle. Terry Morin has said all year the value of being able to host first and second round games. You can see why. Welcome to historic Assembly Hall. Indiana wins the tip in the white uniforms. Princeton in the black, visiting from Princeton, New Jersey, the Ivy League champions. Ali Patberg on the drive, whistled for the offensive foul on the first possession.
And right away you see Princeton and their team defense. They are disciplined. They will be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Both these teams, Kevin, are very similar in their guard play and their discipline and their poise on both ends of the floor. The difference we will see is the established inside presence of Indiana and how that impacts Princeton.
And that's Mackenzie Holmes and Alexa Gulbe, but you said it. I would underscore poise. Two poised, confident teams were trading offensive fouls on each of the first two possessions. That time whistled against the Tigers. Let's take a look at our Capital One starting five for the Hoosiers. You can say it's arguably the most experienced and prolific starting five in the nation. That's 5 1,000-point scores. Veteran 5. After the miss, the Tigers back the other way. This is Caitlin Chen. She initiates the offense, number 20 in the black. She might be the X factor for Princeton's Capital One starting five. There's a triple, top of the key for the Tigers to get things started.
Yeah, and speaking of X factors, number 10 for both teams, Gulbe against Grace Stone. Watch that matchup today.
Yeah, Stone with the first points. Corner three in the air, and the response, Nicole Cardano-Hillary. Just a phenomenal showing. Plenty of crimson and cream in the stands. Had more than 6,000 here on Saturday for Indiana's victory over Charlotte. I'd say likely more tonight. Mitchell with the second basket for Princeton in attack mode, driving with the right hand.
Yeah, you can't fall asleep against Princeton. They're going to go through their entire set until they find a mismatch or your defense makes a mistake. You've got to play for 30 seconds each possession.
Really patient offenses. Abby Myers was just whistled for her first foul. This is Ali Patberg, the backbone, the heart and soul of this Indiana team, according to her head coach Terry Morin, who you just saw. Cardano-Hillary, no, not that time. And she is the three-point specialist for the Hoosiers, a team that was at the top of the Big Ten all year long, finished fifth, made a run to the Big Ten tournament final. Myers out of bounds. Carla Baruba's Princeton Tigers, a force all year in the Ivy League, went undefeated, knocked off Columbia for the league title, their third straight. They've won 18 in a row. They're a hot team.
And there you see the inside presence for Indiana. Mackenzie Holmes able to get the defense on the top side. Great pass into the post.
Yeah, that's the junior from Maine. She goes for nearly 16 points per game in the interior. So here's Myers. Patberg likely to guard her most of tonight. Terrific defender. Cunningham had that one knocked out by Gulbe. And so Princeton inbounds underneath the hoop. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, just doing a great job of getting Ellie Mitchell on the top side there. And we're going to have to watch that. Ellie Mitchell had 4 fouls the last game against Kentucky, and they need her in the game. So that matchup we need to watch.
Myers, such a skilled scorer, the captain with her first basket. Well, Holmes, what does Terry Morin say? Pound the paint.
Pound the paint. They want to get it inside. They want to play inside out.
That's a foul on Cunningham, so 3 personals whistled against the Tigers first 3 minutes of this game. So there is the Seymour, Indiana native. She's from what, about an hour east of here. Went to Purdue, a star there, played for Lynn Dunn, and has elevated this Indiana program to heights it's never seen before. Grace Berger, a big reason for that. She's offline on the 10-footer.
Now, for that open shot, if you don't play her all the way to the basket, you can see the block there by Holmes. Berger's a hard guard. You've got to stay with her the entire time.
Here she is, going to work again, into the paint, right to the rim.
And that makes it difficult for Princeton. If you can't guard the guard going to the basket, how will you be able to help with the post?
The three-time first-team All-Big Ten selection. You saw she was an honorable mention, All-American as well. Stone setting the screen for Cunningham. Knotted up at 7, few minutes in. Second round action in Bloomington. And Grace Stone with the cold-blooded fadeaway. She's got 5.
Yeah, not somebody that you talk about a lot for Princeton, but a very important part of their offense. Again, the established inside presence of Indiana. How will that impact Princeton? And you saw that, and you see Berger here just getting anywhere she wants to go off the dribble.
This is critical, Helen. Abby Myers just picked up her second personal. She's to the bench just 4 minutes into this game. We're just talking about foul trouble. This is Berger, always in attack mode. Now with the left hand this time. Rebound down to Mitchell. She's the best rebounder in the Ivy League. And so now Princeton has to manufacture some offense without Myers. She goes for 18 a game on the bench.
Well, they can manufacture, they can get points from Caitlin Shannon, the way they run their offense. It's so spaced out, but they do need Meyer on the floor. You see her there. Sure, one game, but definitely you want to take her out with the 2 fouls.
Boy, these teams are spirited. They have come out really hot to start. You see the numbers for Myers, the player of the year in the conference. This is Chen, smothered again by Holmes. Cardano Hillary on the run out. No numbers, back to Goulbe. And Indiana loves to get out and run. The Spaniard chucks it up and it falls through. What a start to this one. Who's going to the Sweet 16?
Well, Indiana has been the aggressor offensively. You see Princeton trying to do that, but unable to duplicate that on their end of the floor. And Coach Berube is hot.
Princeton has been whistled for 5 team fouls already. Indiana has been whistled for a couple, so the Hoosiers are in the bonus for the latter half of this first quarter. Cardano Hillary, the most prolific scorer on this roster. 5th-year senior, more than 2,300 points in her career. 3 years at George Mason. Won the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year honor before transferring to Indiana. Boy, really crafty scorer, huh?
Crafty scorer, but bought into the defense of Indiana and is referred to as a net, if you will, because she gets into people's space defensively, and we know she can score, but that is what she brought to Indiana here.
Well, and she just took it away from Chen on that prior possession, drew the foul, gets the free throw. 1 point lead for Indiana. Fast start. It's a fiery assembly hall to get this thing going. Second round action in Bloomington. Boy, Stone has gotten to that logo in the paint, has hit a couple of times. That one just rimmed out. Goulbe, no hesitation, kick out to Patberg, who's cutting, and that one too tall. Timeout in Bloomington. Indiana with a 1 point lead. Great start to a second round battle in Bloomington. Timeout.
Misses, that's it! Indiana, for the very first time, is headed to the Elite Eight.
been one of the best in the Big Ten now for years. Terry Moore, and she took over in 2014. This program had been to just 4 tournaments when she arrived. She's taken this team to 4 more in 8 years. And for the first time ever a year ago, to the Elite Eight, the furthest this program has advanced in the NCAA Women's Championship. What'd she tell us yesterday? We knew we could build something here if we built this thing on work, and she's got a team that loves to work, and they're trying to get back to the Elite Eight, maybe further, and maybe the program's first ever Final Four.
Well, we know Indiana is a basketball state, and she said they've got great men's basketball, but they should have great women's basketball as well.
Well, she said, I think when you think about Indiana basketball, you only think about the men's program, and there's Holmes inside with the offensive rebound. She wants folks to think about Indiana basketball, period. Both programs. And based on the amount of crimson and cream we see in the stands here, this place is juiced.
This crowd is incredible as you see the steal there by Connolly.
That's Maggie Connolly, gets a run in the first quarter with Myers on the bench. Cunningham splashes a 3.
Boy, they needed that. Because where that offense is going to have to come by committee with Myers on the bench in the first quarter.
Let's remember, Cunningham, second to Myers, goes for 13.5 a game. She's capable. That's Chloe Moore McNeil, the sophomore off the bench, missed everything. She's been playing great basketball. And now she guards Connolly. Winner of this one to the Sweet 16 to face either UConn or Central Florida. This is Moore McNeil, eyes up. Goulbe posts quickly, but the pass out of her reach. That UConn Central Florida game later this evening. That's at 9 Eastern on ESPN. The winners of those two meet next Saturday. Look at that Notre Dame final score. Smashed Oklahoma.
I see you, Coach Neil Ivey.
Boy, with a vengeance there. NC State, the top seed. And remember, that was the program Indiana knocked off to reach that Elite Eight a year ago. This has been a phenomenal weekend of basketball to start this tournament. And is Princeton going to be the next double-digit seed to advance? Goulbe with a strong rebound, out to Pepper.
There's a mismatch there with Holmes on chin.
They missed her?
They missed her.
Oh,
okay,
McNeil bails them out.
Okay, Miss Chloe, I see you. She has been really one of the most improved players that Indiana has had this year from last year.
Chen had it poked away by Cardano Hillary. Stays here, 19 on the shot clock.
And so they miss the inside mismatch, but you see the help there, and that's what Princeton's going to do. They're going to try to help on the post players, and they're going to have those outside shots like you just saw with Moore McNeil.
A sophomore from Sharon, Tennessee, right around 30% from 3, playing her best basketball the last several weeks. This offense built on rhythm, motion, ball movement. Stone got the 3.
So Stone has become more aggressive offensively for Princeton. They need that.
Yeah.
If she can shoot inside, she can shoot outside.
Brilliant start with Myers on the bench. She has 8. Moore McNeil on the other side this time. Mitchell chases it down. This has been a tenacious first quarter. Both teams playing spirited, high energy, and terrific shot making early on. Cunningham, yes.
You see Princeton, they don't get flabbered. You know, they stay poised, they stay patient. Even if they have turnovers and maybe not such a great start, they're able to get themselves collected and calm and stay in games.
Final minute of the first. Princeton has a 4-point lead, largest of the evening for either team. Goulbe flings it up and in.
And able to turn baseline side. The help came, but it was just a second late. This is kind of carbon copy of what happened with Kentucky. They got off to a great start defensively, and Princeton struggled at the beginning of the first quarter, and now you see here they're up by 2 with 12 seconds to go.
Chen trying to hypnotize Cardano Hillary, going to work. That pass batted by Moore McNeil. And Chen picks up her second foul.
The long arm of the law, Chloe Moore McNeil. Here's where she brings benefit to the defense of Indiana.
Did you call her earlier a gnat?
That's Cardonia. We're going to give the long arm of the law nickname to Chloe Moore McNeil. The gnat is Cardonia Hillary.
And she's back at the free throw line. 6 first quarter points, make it 7. All Myers can do is wait. $17 up. Final 5 seconds. Chen lost it, got it back. 2 seconds, lost it. Indiana with 4 straight points to close the quarter. A spirited first quarter in Bloomington. One of these teams moving on to the Sweet 16, the other's going home. Terrific first quarter. The second is next. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One rolls on next weekend. We've got the regional semifinals and finals next weekend, Friday through Monday, the Final Four and championship games scheduled for Sunday, April 3rd. March Madness, been a little madness this weekend. 8 times a double-digit seeded team has won in the first 2 rounds. And by the way, we're not yet done. You got this 11th seeded Princeton team vying for its first ever Sweet 16. Those 8 wins tied for the most ever. South Dakota, Creighton have advanced to the Sweet 16. Iowa and Baylor are gone.
And Belmont is giving Tennessee all they can handle right now.
Yes, it is. Fourth quarter of that game is about to begin, and there is a offensive foul whistled against Indiana. Princeton was in foul trouble in that first quarter. Matter of fact, they were whistled for 16 fouls. Terry Morin is incredulous, palms up. What's the call? What's the explanation?
All I can think of is it was an early roll before the ball handler got passed on the screen on the ball. I didn't see it.
And it was the first on Holmes. Boy, both teams shot very well in that first half. And there's Indiana doubling up Princeton in terms of the paint points. Connolly off balance with the left hand. Ball back to Indiana. You expect that, right? Indiana to attack the paint tonight.
Right, and then you see here, you don't have Chen in the game. You don't have Myers in the game. 2 of your best players. Where's the offense going to come from at the end of the shot clock where you saw Connolly there try to score?
Myers and Chen have both been whistled for 2 fouls. Pat Berg wants the 3. Fouled! Count it!
And you see Myers about to come in here. They cannot keep her on the bench any longer. Yeah, just to close out, and she did get her with the body.
That's the second on Grace Stone. So a trio of backcourt vets for Princeton have been whistled for a pair of fouls. But Myers back in. That's the right call, yes?
That's the right call.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, Grace Stone kept Princeton in this game. She had 8 points in that first quarter. So, I mean, you're losing a little bit with her on the bench.
Cardano Hillary, vexing defense, whistled for the reach-in, her second. This place is amped. How many times did Terry Morin say it throughout the year? There's such a benefit to vie for one of those top 4 seeds in the tournament, have the ability to host first and second round games. They got beat in Oregon a couple of years ago, at Notre Dame a few years back.
And this is a great crowd. Obviously, the students are here as well. They're back from spring break.
Chet Nowicki into the game, number 25 in the black. Connolly, contested layup, that's down. Maggie Connolly, the junior from Delaware.
The lefty with the score on the right hand. So here, Indiana, I know you want to run your set, but you want to go right at Meyer.
There's Berger, just 2 points in that first quarter. Holmes reposts. Great position and the score.
Just did a great job. That was a tremendous pass. She threw the pass only where Holmes could catch it, right there by the square of the basket.
10-2, Indiana run. This is Myers. Step back three, offline. Berger taps the toes, walking the tightrope. Oh, how did that one fall through? It's Holmes again.
Well, we said at the beginning, that is the advantage that Indiana has over Princeton, is that established inside game. And listen to this crowd, Kevin.
Cunningham picked up the loose basketball and sticks the 15-footer. Crowd thought there was contact, wanted a foul call. Princeton capitalizes after the Indiana error.
Well, that's what I mean by Princeton. They stay calm and collected. You know, they don't get flabbergasted at all. They just run their stuff and try to execute.
Two really disciplined teams. Goulbe, contested jumper, heading to the free throw line. That's the first on Chet Nowicki.
Well, Holmes has established herself inside on both ends of the floor here. You see the block on Chin and the block, and then the look, like, what are you doing bringing that in here? And then they give her the basketball in the post. Nice little drop step there. And then, I'm not sure what this is, but it's great footwork in the left hand. I thought it was a travel, but it wasn't. I thought it was going to be a travel, but it wasn't. Just great inside work on both ends of the floor by Holmes.
She didn't have any angle at all. Somehow scored that one.
That's why I thought she was going to travel, but she had great footwork there.
Holmes, the relentless force, last year led this team in scoring. Missed 8 games this year because of a knee injury. Had to have surgery. She is slowly but surely getting the stamina level back. It's now or never tournament time. 5-point lead for the Hoosiers. Its largest advantage of the night. Myers underneath. Hit the bottom of the backboard. And Indiana's tenacious defense, it's giving Princeton problems. Berger out of bounds.
And great defense there, not letting her get past, not letting her get to the baseline. That's something that Grace did at the beginning of the first quarter. Was pretty much able to get where she wanted to go off the dribble. Good defense there. 7
turnovers, too many. They only turned it over 6 times 2 nights ago. Flawless performance against Charlotte. Terry Morin said it pregame in the locker room. We want to punch first against this disciplined Princeton team. Cunningham had 5 in the first quarter. Blocked by Goulbe. There's a blocking foul. And they may have whistled this, yes. It's on Grace Wagner, not on Goulbe. Yeah, the block was clean.
Yeah. She jumped into her space.
There's the body, yep.
Yep.
In the act of shooting, so Cunningham to the free throw line. This is the Ivy League's best free throw shooter, 88% on the year. The junior from Watchung.
She's kept Princeton in this game. I believe that's 7 points for her.
They make it 9 now. A critical start for Cunningham, with Myers and Chen having to sit for portions of this first half. Chen, by the way, back into the game with the 2 fouls.
Well, and again, they're only down by 3. They could be down by a lot more.
Goulbe, no.
We knew this was going to be back and forth with both these teams. Disciplined on both ends of the floor. They're going to run their stuff. They're going to take advantage of what the defense gives them. Nice little footwork there by Mitchell.
Swirls down. Hey, trust us. This is going to be a compelling one. 1 point game, 5.5 minute mark, second quarter. Mitchell with the 5 rebounds already. She's halfway to her season average.
Berger has not scored here in a while.
Knocked away, Mitchell the steal. Chen, eyes up. Cunningham's got it, maybe he wants the 3. Puts it up, way short. Contested by Berger. Mitchell comes down with it. Who wants it? Pat Bird pushing. Chen cuts off more McNeil. Second round, Bridgeport Regional, winner to the Sweet 16. Goulbay into traffic. No whistle. Myers went down. Ball back to Princeton. So we had no whistle. We had the collision between Myers and Goulbay. Princeton gets it. Timeout on the floor. 4:39 to go. And it's a 1 point game in Bloomington. Abby Myers and Grace Berger, the unequivocal stars, the most prolific scorers for both of these teams. They've been held in check in a sense. Now, Myers spent a lot of time on the bench in the first quarter with 2 personal fouls. Grace Berger has had a little trouble. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think they've been doing a better job of staying in front of Grace Berger on the dribble, and obviously Myers can't score if she's not in the game. But Myers' last field goal was at 7:02 in the first quarter, and Berger's last field goal was 6:23. In that first quarter.
It feels, these two teams, they're so similar in a sense. Disciplined, connected, they stress team defense. Both offenses predicated on rhythm and motion, movement. As you're seeing here, Myers contested Jay. Moore McNeil was right there in her face. 1 point game, Indiana leads it.
Some might think that's not a good shot, but for Myers it is. She has the green light from Princeton to shoot.
In range. Moore McNeil, another, yes.
And she has become such a more confident shooter. You know, her teammates, they want to back her up. When she doesn't shoot, they actually yell at her and say, shoot the basketball, and you can see why.
Holmes with her 3rd block. Indiana always with its foot on the gas in attack mode. Holmes posting, couldn't get it to her. Cardano-Hillary. Chen on it for Princeton. Chen, great handles, pulls up and knocks down the 15-footer. First points of the night for Caitlin Chen.
When they need points, she's definitely going to be the one to try to get it off the dribble.
Berger into the paint. That's her game, getting inside the lane and dissecting the defense.
When they don't get between her and the basket, she just needs one hard dribble and she'll shoot over the defense.
Brilliant on Saturday, the win against Charlotte, 18 points, 7 of 13 from the field. A 4-point lead for Indiana. Clock winding on the first half. Princeton, the Ivy League champs, undefeated in league play. They've won 18 straight. Myers lays it up, too much spin. Rebound down to Holmes.
Nothing for Myers is coming without being contested by everybody that's on her and everybody that helps.
1 of 6 from the field. Ten to shoot, Goulbay. Cardano-Hillary improvises, fades away and knocks it down.
She's bringing whatever Indiana needs from her. If they need points, she'll get that. If they need defense, they'll get that from her.
She's got 10. Mitchell draws the foul. First on Berger. The students have showed up. Hoosier Nation has showed up. First time that Indiana has ever hosted first or second round games in this building.
Trying to get a little bit more offense in there with Stone.
Boy, that looked like one of the cleanest looks Myers has had tonight. Cardano Hillary was even right there. Now 1 of 7 from the field. Moore, McNeil. Lefty scoop.
Yeah, just doing a great job. Nice little hezzy there. They let her get to that left hand, those long strides on the dribble.
Golbe with the rebound after the Chen miss. Indiana on a 6-0 run. Largest lead of the evening. An errant pass into Chen's hands. Numbers, if Princeton hurries. Cunningham, sharpshooter, way off.
McNeil has added offense to Princeton. They want her, to Indiana. They want her to be aggressive. She can shoot outside. She can also drive to the basket. And she got a lot of time when Holmes was out. Those 8 games, got a chance to get within the rhythm of the offense.
Remember, we've got the Degree halftime report coming up. You'll hear from Elle Duncan, Nikki Fargas, Rebecca Lobo, NC State, Notre Dame. They are into the regional semifinals. UConn and Central Florida coming up later. They'll preview that one. Well, now Grace Berger is back. 10-point lead for Indiana. First team foul on Indiana this quarter. It's on Moore McNeil, her first.
Now Berger get to the spot. You see how Stone's late there. You see the difference in the shots that Myers takes and the difference that Berger takes. Hers are not as contested as Myers. Myers has a hand in her face everywhere she goes, and Berger just has that nice little shot off the dribble. All she needs is a little room, but they're not getting close enough to her off that dribble.
How much did Indiana spend on defending Princeton's offense the last couple days?
A lot. Everything was about playing that having patience, right? They're going to make you go through all the possessions, not losing focus within that 30 seconds. And Myers and Chen, they're 2 of 11. And the rest of the team is 9 for 18.
Well, Myers missed them both. Princeton just 38% shooting from the field. They were 50% on Saturday in that spirited win against Kentucky. Indiana, meanwhile, 61% from the floor. Moore, Berger checks the clock, lets it go, and puts it in. Scintillating start for the Hoosiers. Myers puts it up. 4 seconds. Rebound to Chen. Looking for one more. Got the foul. And Chen heads to the free throw line with half a second to go till halftime. Now, Terry Moore's not going to like that one. This is huge for Princeton. It has a chance to get it back to 10. The 12-point advantage, the largest for Indiana. It just went on a 10-0 run.
Well, one of the things that Princeton talked about in practice, being strong with the basketball, being more physical. On the other side, that's what Indiana wanted to do. They wanted to be physical with Princeton, put a body on them, contest everything.
Indiana was crisp and clean on offense in that first half. They ended on a 10-2 run. Let's go to the studio in Bristol. Here's Elle.
All right, Aid.
Anytime she wants, she will dribble to get to her right spot, and she'll shoot over the defender, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Indiana was scorching hot in that second quarter. Wound up closing the half 63% from the field, went 9 of 11 in the second quarter compared to Princeton, which really struggled. 37% shooting from the field. Nothing was easy for these Tigers. They are looking for their first ever trip to the Sweet 16. Meanwhile, Indiana advanced all the way to the Elite Eight a year ago. Deepest run in program history. So they're trying to get back to the second weekend of this tournament again.
And I think Princeton needs to run their offense a little bit longer so they get some easier non-contested shots. Everything they had in that first half was contested.
2 chances on this end, but they come up empty. Hey, what was it about the Indiana defense that was so suffocating?
Well, they were physical. Like they wouldn't let them go where they wanted to go, and they were bumping them on the cuts. And that was one of the things that Coach Berube said they needed to do better, is be stronger with the basketball. And they weren't that in that first half. Another mid-range jumper by Grace Berger.
Into double figures for an 18th straight game. Just a bona fide score. The engine of this offense. Senior from Louisville, heavily recruited by Louisville, by Kentucky. Terry Moore and this staff, they worked tirelessly to get her to come to Indiana. Cunningham, second chance, and now Princeton 0 of 4 from the field on the offensive end. Patberg runs it down. Now Indiana can reset. A veteran Hoosiers team that has been one of the best in the nation all year. Spent the entirety of the regular season in the AP Top 10. Made a run to the Big Ten Tournament Final. Look at Patberg, Cunningham trying to bother her. Rebound down to Mitchell. Now Berger begging for a call. Nothing. Princeton 0 of its last 9 from the floor. Hasn't scored in nearly 6 minutes of game action. It needs something. It's trailing by its largest deficit of the evening. Myers, cleanest look of the night, and left it short.
But you see there, they went all the way almost through their progressions and they got Indiana to commit to something, and she got a wide open shot even though she missed it.
Myers just at 2 points tonight. She's averaged more than 18 a game this year. The player of the year in the Ivy League. Cardano Hillary. Bounce pass to Holmes. Rebound to Myers. Cunningham, strong drive, aggressive, rebound down to Berger. That's a foul on Stone. She hooked Gulbe's right arm. So the third on the junior from Glen Cove, New York, Carla Berube, pardon. Former national champion at UConn.
So this is a smaller lineup by Indiana. Taking Holmes out, putting Moore McMillan in. You've got Gulbe playing the post there. She's telling her to pass the ball to the wing so she can post up.
Cunningham bothering Berger. Gulbe comes to set the screen, and Mitchell is whistled for the personal. So that's the first on Mitchell, and 2 team fouls on Princeton in the first few minutes.
Watch and see how Indiana's going to react whenever there's a screen on the ball. You're going to have 2 people play the ball. And that person that set the screen is going to be open. We'll see if Indiana sees her.
They get a new 20 now. Moore McNeil had those 2 triples in the first half. In scramble mode, so give it to your best player. Berger, the spin, the fadeaway, and connects.
Wow, that's just nasty. I mean, unbelievable. Just putting a clinic on how to score in mid-range. She started out 1 for 4, and she's been 5 for 6 since then.
Princeton dying for a basket, and Grace Stone does deliver. She's now into double figures. That is Princeton's first basket in nearly 8 minutes of game action. First field goal, I should say.
Stone kept them in the game in that first half with 8 points when Meyer went out.
Gulbe, you got to respect that 3-point shot. The assertive attack. Mitchell clears it. That's now 9 rebounds for Mitchell. Chen, oh, that's a difficult shot.
And when the Princeton guards can get in transition into the paint, that's where they're effective.
Back to a 10-point game. Indiana has led for the majority of this one. Princeton had an early 4-point lead in the first quarter, then lost it. Indiana was just up by 14. Back to 10. Berger, strong. Mitchell trying to box out Goulbe. Physical on the baseline. Tigers ball.
Here's Berger, just a nice little spin move and a fadeaway. And then you have Chin also getting into the lane, a little floater there.
They are both really clever once they get into the paint. That's their specialty. Princeton has been in environments like this. It played Texas in the non-conference. It beat Florida Gulf Coast, a ranked team. It played Villanova. It tested itself in the non-con. I'm not quite sure, though, it has seen as frenzied of an environment as it has seen today in a while. And they're down by 10. These Hoosiers are looking to get to the regional semifinal next weekend at Bridgeport. They're up 10. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? It's March Madness in Bloomington for the first time ever. Indiana hosts first and second round action. We're just about a mile from downtown Bloomington. NC State, Notre Dame have advanced to the Sweet 16. The winner of this one faces UConn or Central Florida next weekend in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I mean, how impressive, by the way, has this crowd been?
Well, you
inside Assembly Hall.
You saw the picture of town with nobody in it because they're all here at the game.
No one down that way. Gray Stone on the attack. Wild pass. Chen bails her out. Stone's open. Fakes it. Got it. And she hits it. Little hesitation, but nails the three. 13 points for Stone.
And I said earlier at the beginning of the broadcast that she is the X factor for Princeton. And she has held Princeton down offensively since Meyer has not scored since the 7:09 mark of the first quarter.
First quarter. Patberg that time flung it up, and it fell through. So Indiana just responded to Princeton's 7-0 run. That was on the heels of the Hoosiers opening up its largest lead. It was 14 at one point. Cunningham stuck underneath, and he nails the baseline jumper.
Princeton's not going to go away. You're going to have to earn this win if you're Indiana.
3:30 to go in the third quarter. Berger size it up Mitchell. Patberg, short. Ball back to the Tigers.
Yeah, see Cunningham just getting some, creating some space for herself. Nice little screen there by Ellie Mitchell to free her for that short corner jumper.
Boy, Mitchell has made some nice plays. We know about her rebounding prowess. She's got 9. So at that time, frees up Cunningham, who has stepped it up with Myers struggling. She has 11. Remember, Stone has 13 as well. Mitchell pounding it with the left hand. Holmes got a piece of it. Myers saved it. Mitchell saves it back to Cunningham. Diving on the floor. Now she's open. Short. Mitchell. Princeton pounding the glass.
She's a leading rebounder in the Ivy League.
But an empty possession. Still a 7-point lead for the Hoosiers. She now has 11. Had a pair on that sequence alone. Myers cuts off Patberg. Indiana very patient. 4 to shoot. Patberg. Goulbe has to chuck it. Down and out. This place would have gone berserk if that one fell through.
Yeah, Indiana, I think, has gotten away a little bit of looking for Holmes in the interior. That's what got them a lead in that first half.
Stone driving kick. Chen gets her defender in the air, left it short. That's a foul on Berger, and Mitchell just bothering this Indiana team now in the interior. Boy, just two skilled coaches here.
Skilled and just really, really high-level basketball IQ for both these coaches, and you can tell as a reflection of the way that their teams play. We had great conversations with both of them, and they just really love how inquisitive their players are in terms of wanting to get better, wanting to know what they need to do to win, and the scouting report asking a lot of questions. Again, two very similar teams.
Berube had a busy evening after the Kentucky win. Had a lot of text messages and Twitter notifications to respond to. Got a text from Sue Bird. I think that's what you may start with. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm going to respond to this one first.
Sue Bird, and I got a text from Gino, but we can't repeat what what he said in the text.
To paraphrase, heck yeah. Warren McNeil was open. Head fake, bounce pass. School Bay shuffled the feet. She walked. And Indiana, after opening up that 14-point lead, has scuffled a little bit. A couple of turnovers. They've given up a whole bunch of offensive rebounds. Now, Princeton hasn't made them pay. It's 4 of 17 from the floor this third quarter. So all those offensive rebounds going to waste, in a sense.
And they've gotten a little bit better with their shot selection in terms of when and the shot clock. But again, Indiana gone away from, I think, what really helped them, which was getting the ball inside. As you see, getting the ball inside to Cunningham for Princeton.
Cunningham now with 13. She's at her season average. 5-point game again.
You see the crowd trying to get Indiana back into this. And this is where you go with Grace Berger.
Cardano Hillary. Mitchell now with a dozen rebounds. Shot clock is off. Nearing the end of the third quarter. Princeton has stormed back, was down 14. Since that point on an 11-2 run. Chen, 4 seconds, pulls up and puts it in. Woo! Princeton fights its way back. A 13-2 run to close the quarter. It outscores Indy. Was up by 14. Then Princeton went on an 11-2 run. Grace Berger with 12 for the Hoosiers. That was our Adidas game track. Here we go. One final quarter to determine who is heading to Bridgeport with Helen Williams, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. The Tigers have stormed back. Grace Stone chucks it up, and Cardano Hillary pounces on the basketball. What does Indiana have to do a little bit better this fourth quarter?
They got to get the ball inside to Mackenzie Holmes. She hasn't touched the ball or scored in like 17 minutes. And I know Grace Berger's a big part of that, but part of the reason she has the room is to get it because they get it inside the Holmes.
Think they drew that one up?
They hurt me. They hurt me.
Her first points in the second half. Princeton has never been to the Sweet 16. Indiana trying to get back there for a second straight season. Chen, short. Myers, Mitchell, Goulbay, and Berger comes away with it. Wise decision.
Good decision.
Goulbay pulls it.
She's had a couple of those, been all the way down. I wouldn't count out Meyer, though. This is the fourth quarter. She hasn't scored a lot, but you can bet she's going to be shooting the basketball here in this last quarter.
Number 1 in the black, Ivy League Player of the Year, has just 2 points, hasn't scored a field goal since the first.
Nice cut.
Backdoor cut, Cunningham, and tossed it over the backboard. Wait, Berger knocked it loose just as she was trying to catch it cleanly. That prevented what would have been maybe an easy score. Myers, 2 tonight, had the 29, a career high 2 days ago against the SEC champs, Kentucky.
I think she being out with those 2 fouls early took both her and Princeton out of their offensive rhythm, as you see the foul on Indiana here. And I think when she came back, I think she was pressing a little bit. I think the team was pressing a little bit.
They're still in it, though. Down just 5. Boy, that was an offensive foul on that other end, as you alluded to, on Chloe Moore McNeil. That's her second. Stone lines it up. Goulbe keeps the pivot foot. Indiana has been one of the best teams, and not just the Big Ten, in the nation all year. Spent the entirety of the regular season in the top 10.
There you go, there you go. Get the ball into the big girl. They practiced that in their shoot-around, getting the ball into her off of those screens.
Myers attacks. Leaner, got it. And Myers lets out an emotional roar. Her first field goal since the first quarter. This game is tightened up. Indiana led by 14 for a moment in the third quarter. Holmes lost it.
So we talked at the beginning of the broadcast, the difference between the two teams is the established inside presence of Indiana. And you see here, they're making a concerted effort to get it to Mackenzie Holmes, and she turns away from the double and right into the triple team and able to score there. That's really what got them that run in the first half, and that's what they needed to get back to, Kevin, here in the second half.
So she takes a seat with those 10 points. Cardano Hillary, one of the better defenders in the Big Ten, nearly punched it away from Chen. Blocked by Goulbe, a foul though.
Oh my, this is a better angle. Oh!
Well, they whistled Cardano Hillary.
Oh,
so Goulbe
okay.
had the clean block.
So, okay, because that was definitely a block. And the crowd doesn't know that they whistled Cardano Hillary. They still think it's Goulbe.
You think they dislike that one? Chen, 81% at the stripe this year, third best in the Ivy League. The sophomore from San Marino. Started this year coming off the bench. A sophomore, but remember, all winter sports canceled last year for the Ivy League, so this is, in fact, her first 29 games of her career. Most outstanding player in the Ivy League tournament.
Well, you and I talked off camera that this was going to be a tight game.
Oh, too tall. And that's the turnovers for Indiana are really starting to catch up with them. That's 15.
Well, they had 10 at halftime, even though they were up by 10. And I'm sure they talked about that. Here comes Holmes back in the game again.
I mean, this is rare. This is uncharacteristic of this Indiana team. Top 30 in the nation in turnover rate. Holmes is back in. 3-point game coming up on the 6-minute mark. Boy, Papper has been brilliant on Myers tonight. Chasing her, pulls up, contested jumper is pure.
Well, the rest of the team held Princeton down until Myers finally able to get a shot there and score.
6-0 Tigers run. Looking for Holmes. She's got to get out of the paint. Cardano Hillary keeps it on the baseline to Berger. Pulls up. Rebound to Cunningham. Princeton has a chance to take its first lead since the first quarter.
We talked about how disciplined they were, and there it is.
Beautiful feed to Mitchell.
Just being patient and poised and not rushing anything here in this third quarter like they did in the first quarter, and it's causing Indiana to call a timeout.
Princeton has taken its first lead since the 1-minute mark in the first. 5:09 to go in Bloomington. Brilliant weekend of basketball inside Assembly Hall. Welcome back to Bloomington. Second round action, Bridgeport Regional. Princeton has stormed back. It's gone on an 8-0 run, holds a 1-point lead over one of the Big Ten's best, the third seed in this region, the Indiana Hoosiers. 5:09 to go in the fourth. Helen Princeton on an 8-0 surge.
Yeah, able to get some non-contested shots here. You see the short corner shot there, and then Cunningham again in the middle, and then the drive there finally by Myers, able to get some points in the paint.
Well, Indiana has turned it over 15 times. It needs an answer. Cardano Hillary, acrobatic finish. Indiana retakes the lead. Winner to the Sweet 16. The loser goes home. Chen, strong, rebound to Holmes. And Mitchell is whistled for the foul. We'll step aside with 4:27 to go. Our final timeout. 1-point game in Bloomington. Second season at Princeton for Carla Berube, the former UConn captain and national champion. She helped lead the Huskies to its first ever title in 1995, the first of many for Gino Auriemma. She played with Rebecca Lobo, with Jen Rosati, and well, she's just got winning is in her DNA. 132-8 as a player, including the title. Then her first head coaching job, a D3 power, Tufts, right? Led that program to 4 Division III Final Fours. Got the head job ahead of the 2019 season. Went 26-1. They were brilliant in her first year. Pandemic shut that season down. The next year, Ivy League sports canceled. They're picking up right where they left off a couple of years ago, on the verge, on the precipice of maybe knocking off Indiana and advancing to its first ever Sweet 16. Grace Berger, these Hoosiers, they've got other plans. Berger just got blocked by Cunningham.
Well, this is Abby Myers' time here in the fourth quarter.
This has been a high-level battle, a war. Intensity on both sides. Indiana up by 1. Trying to get back to the second weekend like a year ago. Chen, shot clock draining. Cardano Hillary all over her, floats it up. Rebound down to Mitchell. 15 rebounds for the Ivy League's leader. Can they take advantage of it this time?
All their shots here the last few minutes have come within the 10-second of the shot clock running down.
That's the third team foul on Indiana, second on Pat Berg. Remember, the men's Sweet 16 and Elite 8 continues next weekend. That field has been set. Catch it on TBS and CBS for tip times. More info, go to ncaa.com. We're filling out the final blanks of the Sweet 16 on the women's side. There have been some brilliant games all weekend. 7 to shoot. Turnover. Holmes knocked it down. Pat Berg's got it. In transition. And she lost it. Stumbled. Terry Morin's team couldn't convert after the turnover.
There's definitely some contact there, but they've been letting them play. They've been letting them be physical.
16 turnovers, nearly the 17th. Myers in all sorts of trouble. Splits a pair. Rescued by Chen. She starts going to work. Traveling violation.
Both teams getting sped up here. It's the one that's going to be most patient and executes best. It's going to win this game. We've not heard from Grace Berger in a very long time.
Indiana's leading scorer. She's 34 in the white, got it now.
This is her time. The clock's running down.
Going to work. 5 to shoot. Mitchell switches up on her. Goulbe blocked. Shot clock expired. Princeton gets the stop with 2:06 to go. I mean, these are two of the best defensive teams, not just in their respective leagues, but in the nation as well. Both top 20 in terms of efficiency.
You're going to have to earn your baskets here these last 2 minutes.
1-point game. Mitchell picks up the dribble. Chen attacks, banks it off the window. Out to Cunningham, into the paint.
Indiana has allowed Princeton to get so many offensive rebounds here in the second half. They just have not capitalized on them.
9 as a team. Inside of a minute and a half. Myers, no. Another rebound. Carla Berube calls the timeout. That's Princeton's first. 10 offensive rebounds compared to just 1 for Indiana. But you just acknowledged it. Princeton's had trouble scoring, though.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got to make sure that you find a way here, I think, to get Abby Meyer the ball. She's been running around quite a bit off some screens, but they haven't really used a whole lot of flare screens this game, so we'll look for that. And Indiana, you know, again, I think you got to play inside out. That's what they were supposed to do in that first half. That's how they got the lead. And when the ball gets kicked out back to Grace Berger, then she can drive there. It'll be more open because people will be rotating, so we'll see what happens.
Boy, Indiana fell behind a few minutes ago. Princeton took its first lead, right, since the final minute of the first quarter. Indiana scored to go up 1. We haven't seen some points in a little while. They just saw Princeton has 3 timeouts. Indiana has the same. Neither team yet in foul trouble. 3 on Indiana, 1 on Princeton.
By the underdog, they come out on fire yet again. It's the Hawkeye transfer. Creighton's on top.
They're heading to the Sweet 16, and how sweet it is if you are a Coyote.
Creighton has pulled off the stunning upset in Iowa City.
I tried to tell you before, exhilarating opening weekend of the Women's Championship. Myers draws the foul. And if she hits both free throws, Princeton, the 11 seed, is it maybe the next double-digit seed to win a game in this tournament, can go back in front with 1:12 to go. That time, Helen, it was just give it to your best player, let her go to work.
It's her time in the fourth quarter. She hasn't played great, but you dance with the one that brung you. She's gotten them this far. You're going to put the ball in her hands at the end of this game.
Indiana looked like it was about to pull away. Went up by 14 late in the third quarter. And then Princeton went on that 13-2 run. And it's got a lead again.
Well, I told you they weren't going to go away. They do not get flustered. They just do what they do, and they execute in their discipline. We'll see what Indiana's going to do here.
Going inside, it's Berger. Fade away, fouled. Free throws coming. This final minute is going to be exhilarating. It's been a high-level, high-intensity battle in Bloomington.
So in those timeouts, did you give not one, but the next couple of plays that you want to run so you can save those timeouts?
Oh. 80% free throw shooter. Berger has just had she has been challenged today.
So I think Princeton, if they make this, they're going to call a timeout.
Berger's first points in 16 minutes ties this one up at 52. 58.1 to go in the fourth quarter. Winner goes to the Sweet 16, and the loser we'll see in November. Winner advances to face UConn or Central Florida. That game currently going on right now at ESPN, just tipped a little while ago. NC State and Notre Dame have already punched its ticket to Bridgeport into the regional semifinal. Boy, how intriguing this could be, right? Is Indiana going to go back to a Sweet 16 for a second straight year? Before last season, it had never reached that stage of program history. Or is Carla Berube going to face her old head coach? If both of those teams end up winning, that is, Princeton and UConn.
Well, let's look and see if Indiana tries to deny the basketball to Meyer. That's going to be a big thing because you know that's who they want to get the basketball to.
.1 to go. This crowd is delivered. This game is delivered. Final minute.
Well, they tried to deny it to her. They're switching everything.
Myers, no. Short on the three. Holmes the board. And Indiana has a chance to pull back in front.
So they want to call a timeout.
Yep, she wants the timeout. And that's her second. Each team, Helen, has 2 remaining.
So now if you're Indiana, how do you get the ball inside to Mackenzie Holmes and let her facilitate from there?
Princeton has 2 fouls to give. Princeton's in the bonus, so Indiana's been whistled for 4 team fouls. Each squad with 2 timeouts. Indiana has the possession arrow, and we're peering into this huddle. It's filled with so many seniors, right? So many veterans. Berger, the senior from Louisville, she's coming back for 1 more year, but this could be the final time. Nicole Cardano, Hillary, Allie Patberg, Alexa Goulbe are on this floor. They have just worn out here on this court the last couple of years. The most prolific scoring starting 5 in the nation.
That's just crazy. 5 1,000-point scorers and 1 2,000-point scorer.
Mackenzie Holmes, the junior. I've never thought a junior was like a rookie of a group.
Watch to see if the ball goes into Mackenzie Holmes, and if they double what Indiana does out of the rotation.
Hoosiers scoreless the last 4.5 minutes. Berger, so crafty. 2-point lead for the Hoosiers.
Plenty of time here, Kevin. Plenty of time.
She wanted a foul call. You see the frustration. 7 out of 14 from the field. She has had to earn every single point tonight. She's got a game-high 15, and the home team's got a 2-point edge.
Well, the last time you saw Indiana, nice little move here by Berger, and the help was late because they didn't want to leave Mackenzie Holmes on the block. Last time you saw Indiana try to deny Meyer the basketball, and they switched on everything. So they're going to switch on everything here. Look for the flare screen or look for the slip to the basket by the screener.
Princeton called that timeout, so 1 remaining for the Tigers. 2 for Indiana. I mean, what's getting drawn up right now inside? There you go. That huddle right there. Carla Berube's team with possession. 28.2 to go.
Well, just paying attention to how they play. If they switch, she's going to give them some options. You can set that flare screen, or whoever sets that screen, you can slip it towards the basket.
And it looks like Lisa Jones, Kevin Peffel, Kenny Nash, that's our officiating crew, added 0.9, so 29.1 is on the timer now. Still, the shot clock is off. Princeton with a chance to either win it or send this thing to overtime. The winner to the Sweet 16.
Let's also see if they, to free Meyer and have her set a screen and receive a screen. Sometimes that will help to keep people from double teaming and switching.
Stone to inbound. Cunningham. Back to Chen. 25 to go.
Now, they ran this play in the Ivy League in the championship, and Chen scored off this one-on-one right in the paint.
But they have one more. 9 seconds. Chen working off of Mitchell. Attacks. Flings it out. Turnover. They've got a foul. Myers fouls Patberg. 2.3 to go. And if she hits both, that could ice it. Critical turnover.
Well, I think Chen was expecting somebody to roll there because she saw 2 defenders on her, and they didn't roll. Let's see if that's what happened. She's got 2 people on her. She's expecting somebody to come down the lane, and she had Mitchell there, but she overthrew her. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Had her right there in the middle.
.3 on the clock. You've got Allie Patberg heading to the free throw line, 77% at the stripe. Now, if she misses her part, I'm sorry, Princeton has one more foul to give, has one more before they go to the free throw line.
And they've got to do it right away. Obviously, go for the steal, but
and put some time on the clock. There's 3.6 to go. So you got a foul immediately. More McNeil, bounce pass, Berger going to the line.
And they got to put some more time on the clock because it was 2.6 when she got fouled, and they ran it down to 1.2.
Yeah, and Lisa Jones is walking over to the monitor right now. I mean, that was a pretty quick foul. After that
quick
clock
trigger
started.
at home on the clock at home, right?
Well, that's not getting by this officiating crew. And both teams were, Indiana's huddled up here. Lisa Jones is, that's a veteran, that's a savvy coaching move right there. They got a little time. One more to send Indiana to the free throw line. Knocked out. Last touch by Princeton. Now the clock didn't start. So Lisa Jones is walking back over there. And they'll take .3 off. .3 is removed, so 2.3. And the officials are going to go back there. So, you know, you want to go for the steal there. All this does, though, is take .3 off the timer. And Indiana's going to inbound now on the other side of the hoop. What's critical here is both teams have a timeout. So if there's a turnover, Princeton's got a timeout. If Indiana goes to the free throw line, the Tigers still have one.
Okay.
Well, Kenny Nash just came over to say, we're going to take a look at possession. Call on the floor. Last touch by Princeton. Taking a peek just to confirm that it indeed was last touch by the Tigers.
Yeah, if you're Indiana here, you got your timeout, but you also, the worst that can happen is just a 5-second count, right? But if you're Princeton, do you foul before the ball even comes in?
Right.
To put them on the free throw line.
Well, and Indiana's got a timeout if it gets in trouble. Call has been confirmed. Indiana to inbound. The next Princeton foul sends the Hoosiers to the free throw line.
And Moore McNeil cannot move.
Mitchell guards her. Holmes foul. Their opponent Goulbe is heading to the free throw line. 2 of the biggest free throws of the year. Goulbe, the senior, has been the X factor down the stretch of this season. An 81% free throw shooter. She hits them both. She'll send her team to the next round.
That's always the hardest one, that first one.
Huge one, 1.6. Indiana by 4. Timeout Princeton. But that might do it.
Well, if you're Indiana, you're telling your players, you don't want to say don't foul, because sometimes players will hear foul in their head. Play good defense, but it's obvious. Let them make a 2 and not a 3. Obviously, you don't want to foul a three-point shooter.
And let's point this one out. Now, Princeton will inbound hash mark in the front court. They get to advance it, so that'll help save some time. But
they've got to
need an automatic make.
Yeah, if you're Indiana, let them have the shot.
Right.
Do not foul a three-point shooter.
Time is Indiana's best friend right now. I mean, this is a catch and just get it up.
And they come out in the zone.
Cunningham, Myers lets it go. Clock expires. Indiana is headed back to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year. It survives a Princeton second half surge.
Oh, what a great effort by Princeton. Fought until the end. Coach Berube, I know they're not going to be happy, but what a fantastic year for Princeton Tigers. And the student section is going wild, and the players are excited. They were happy to have them here today. That's awesome.
They're celebrating with them. The smile on Terry Morin's face before she arrived. This program had been to 4 NCAA tournaments in 33 years. Never advanced to the second weekend, if you will. Last year led this program to its first ever Elite Eight, a 3 seed this year, the highest ever in program history. Going back to the regional semifinals. The appreciation. Goulbe hit the critical free throws after the mistake, the Princeton turnover. It had possession and a chance to tie or take the lead with the seconds draining off the game clock. Threw it away, turned it over. The foul, the free throws, game over.
And you know what's wonderful is I can barely hear you, Kevin. This crowd is so loud.
We've got the head coach with us now, Terry Morin. After Indiana's 56-55 win, and we think Coach can hear us. Coach, let's just point this out. We talked about it yesterday. Before you arrived, this program, it went to just 4 NCAA tournaments. In your 8 years, you've doubled that total. You're back to the Sweet 16, a second straight year. It's built on work. A moment like this, how has it come to fruition again?
Well, again, these kids, you know, we talked all year about the adversity that, you know, and we went through a lot of it. And just the toughness and the resilience that they've displayed and showed throughout the season has really been remarkable. And I'm just so proud of them. And what a great Princeton team. I mean, so good and well coached. And what a great season they had. They gave us everything that we wanted. And you know, our kids just had enough. Grace Berger, obviously, we put the ball in her hands when we had to have that go-ahead bucket. And you know, it was hard to find some offense, I'll be honest, going down the stretch. And like I said, that had a lot to do with Princeton and less to do with us being able to execute.
Coach, I think your veterans really saved the day for you. There were a lot of opportunities there where you could have folded, but it looks like the leadership is what kept you in this game.
Oh, there's no doubt that, you know, we are a veteran, we're experienced, and we've been through a lot this season, and so we've seen just about everything. And, you know, the thing I love about this group is, you know, we never panic, we don't blink, we just keep our heads down and we just keep doing the work, and we find a way. As I've always said with this particular group, if there's time on the clock, we always give ourselves a chance. But what a terrific atmosphere, you know, we had here in Bloomington tonight. And, you know, I think it was great for women's basketball. Obviously, you know, we're biased, but we think we have the greatest fans in the country.
They delivered Indiana to the Sweet 16. Coach, let that sink in.
They did. Look at this girl.
Oh, the embrace with Allie Patberg as we say goodbye in Bloomington.
Indiana to the Sweet 16 for Helen, our great crew. I'm Kevin. Good night from Assembly Hall. Let's go to Ohio State and LSU.